With the permission of the family, we would like to dedicate this episode to Lindsay May and share her story. She was known to her loved ones as Sweet Pea or Stitch. She was 12 years old. She was bright, loving, and intelligent. Lindsay was active in many school clubs and athletic teams. She brought brightness to her world around her with her great sense of humor, contagious laughter, and a sense of adventure. To know her was to love her. In her last journal entry, Lindsay said, "It's too late for me. Please talk to someone, even though they look and act okay. They may make it because of you." And to remind us to be kind to others because we never know who is struggling. That is exactly what the family has been doing. They want to share Lindsay's story in hopes that it will reach someone before it's too late. If you or someone you know is struggling, seek help. No one should be afraid to talk about the hard things. There should be no stigma or shame from needing help. If you hear someone talking about hurting themselves, do not ignore it. While young people may fear this may get their friend in trouble or hurt their friendship, the alternative is that the friend may not be there to be in trouble or upset with them. Tell an adult. There are many resources available to anyone who may be in a crisis. You can call or text 988. The National Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255, is open 24 hours a day. If you or someone you know is in immediate crisis, you can call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room. The Alabama Crisis Center even has a teen-specific line reached at 205-328-5465. These resources can be easily found online. Google Crisis Hotline Resources. Do not let another life go silently when we can all help. Mental health matters.
Mental health is very important. If you see something or someone says something, please reach out. You can get help through many ways, as Daniel said. Also, you can talk to your family members. That's also very important. Because I know personally, I have had to reach out when I was in my low moments. And it was the best thing that I could ever do.
And I physically can't go. Trying to eat me. I'm not letting them bite me. He's licking me. No, my shoulder.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Welcome to the Orbit Sports Podcast, presented by Shotgun Sports Network. I'm Frazier.
And I'm Daniel.
Strap in, we're ready to launch. So over the weekend, we got to attend an exhibition match between the HCFC and the UAH Chargers. Me and my buddy Daniel here, we had a really great time getting out and getting some sunshine, getting to feel a cool breeze, and just seeing just some of the younger guys on the team get out and really get some reps on the field. It was just really cool that the coaches got to let them do that. I felt that was a good experience for them. And just seeing a different goalie wear the lime green was pretty awesome too. And just like Tabby has been expressing, she wanted us to get out there and she wanted us to see the field, get to experience the vibe. Yeah, the drum brigade wasn't there, the kids area wasn't booming,
right? But
we really still got to experience just a match where the community got to come out for free.
It was. I had a lot of fun. It was really a different experience. The only other soccer game that I had been to is an Atlanta United game, and that's a completely different vibe. But when I was at that game, I had no idea what was going on. So this one, I got to sit back, and now that I understand a little bit more through your help, and with us talking during the game, definitely helped out a lot as well. It was fun. I had a blast. It was a bit chilly with the wind. I think if the wind would have stopped, it would have been an amazing day. I got some sun, got to hang out with my buds, so it was really cool to see the boys in blue on the field. My first takes from the stadium is it's gorgeous. That's a very nice facility. Their concession stands are really cool. I like their cups. Their souvenir cups are really awesome. Overall, I really had a great time. It was good to get out there and watch. And I thought UAH played pretty well. I know it's a different in talent level between college and MLS Next Pro, but I feel like they played really well, and I felt that it was a fun match for sure. I got to learn a whole lot from you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and also we got to see some of the newer guys come out on the field
Yeah.
and play. They didn't quite have their numbers on the back yet, but they
Yeah.
were out there playing. They were out there getting reps, and it was just cool that we got to see some of the new guys before they actually got their numbers. And I think UAH really did a good job. I think they prepared well for the match. Yes, they were a little bit outplayed because of just the talent level.
Right.
But overall, UAH prepared really well. When they had the ball on offense, they were attacking. They were making plays, and I thought the refs, this was good practice for them too.
Yeah.
I feel like they put some of their more inexperienced refs out there to be able to get some experience so that they could go from this and go into an actual match and have that experience.
I think one of my big takeaways from this was that I now understand the reason why HCFC passes so much. Being able to, I mean, it's exhausting running back and forth, side to side on the field. So that's one aspect of it. But then also to find holes and create holes in the defense and try to exploit those and get a ball on the goal.
Yeah, and also it takes the game for them, it slows it down so they can take a moment to catch their breath. So
Yeah.
they're not sprinting back and forth across the field. Because I know that from just me running in the past takes a lot out of you, and you just need those moments where you just need to jog a little bit instead of full out run. That's kind of what they're doing, catching their breath, getting the heart rate down so that they can focus ultimately on what they need to do on offense.
What I also thought was really cool is I didn't realize how fast some of these guys are. I mean, for both teams, they had some guys that really got on the horse and went after it. I mean, watching some of these guys take off down the field was astonishing. But then also the size. I didn't realize that a lot of these soccer players are so tall. I mean, some of these guys look like they were 6'4" plus, and it was on both sides. So I thought that was really cool as well. I typically thought soccer guys were around my build, 5'6", 5'7", maybe 30 less pounds than I have. But, nonetheless.
Well, there are some that are your size that really help the team. And, I just really was just impressed overall that the community did this event, and we got to cheer for not only UAH, but HuntsvilleCityFC. So ultimately we got to cheer for Huntsville.
Right. I agree with that. And I think for me, I really enjoyed it because I understood what was going on a lot more, and seeing how everything progressed and just kind of understanding the passing, the defense, and the rules a little bit more. I thought it was very exciting to get out and learn a new sport and watch this match unfold.
Yeah, and one thing you mentioned to me is that you were really starting to understand the offsides.
Yeah.
Because number 18 for Huntsville was just getting ahead of the
Sullivan.
defense.
Yeah.
And he was doing that, but then that allowed you to see, this is what offsides means.
Right.
You see the defensive line set, and you see the ref with the flag. He's just holding it out for offsides.
Right.
And that's one thing that Huntsville is probably going to take their younger guys and work on, is not getting ahead of the defense, slowing down when you see you're getting ahead of the defense. But that just comes with experience. I mean, even some experienced guys still do that. They're just wanting the ball, wanting to score.
Right.
So they go and do that. And that's one thing I think they'll work on heading into April 11th when they play Chicago Fire 2. I think that's one thing that they'll work on.
And that's a 7:00 game at Wicks Family Field. I highly, highly recommend to come out, see the boys in blue. We didn't get all the theatrics of a normal match, so I highly recommend it. I'm hoping to be able to go to that. I have to check the schedule. It kind of depends on what the Havoc do and what playoffs look like, but I'd really like to go to that and support the boys in blue in Huntsville.
Yeah, we'll get to see, like Tabby said, the blue smoke. We'll get to see the drum brigade, and we'll just get the whole show. And I'm really excited to be able to get out there and not only put the name out there for Shotgun Sports Network, but just to get the experience.
Yeah, I would love to see that, and I want to see the mascot. I've heard a lot about the mascot. I've seen him at Chaos's birthday party, but I didn't get an up close view. But I want to get to meet the mascot. For me, I don't know why, but I love the mascots. I know it's got to be so much fun to be a mascot. And I think that's probably, I'm jealous. I wish I could be a mascot. I would have so much fun with that job.
I have to disagree. I wouldn't want to be a mascot. Just to keep that hype energy up
Yeah.
for like the whole game. I mean, that would just be too much for me. I know I like to keep energy up, but that's just too much.
So before we dive into the Havoc's weekend, we told you we had a special guest, and we have Lindbergh on this week. We're going to do a short interview, ask him a few questions, and get some answers.
It is nice to have you on the podcast. With Shotgun Sports Network, typically we don't like diving into a lot of stats or the personal life. We kind of just want to get the person behind the sweater.
Yeah,
So
you guys can do whatever you want. You can talk about, I mean, if we're talking about my stats, there's probably not a whole lot to talk about.
We'll dive in a little bit about that. I feel like your playing style as a defenseman is more like getting into the boards and playing that middle ice and kind of just locking down the offense from making a move.
Yeah, no, 100%. More about the defensive play, less about an emphasis on points, that's for sure.
Awesome. So you have played in multiple leagues with a few different teams. Which was your favorite league to play in?
I definitely obviously I want to climb the ladder, and the highest I've played so far is the SP. My older brother got some games last year and this year in the Coast, so obviously my favorite league will be the highest one I can get to, and right now that's the SP, and obviously you kind of get treated the best and better arenas, everything like that. But there are some top end teams in the Fed that are similar in certain ways, but few and far between, where at least the whole league in the SP for the most part's very competitive in like how you get treated and all that. And obviously I think you're kind of seeing it now. The league's as close as it's ever been from my memory of like top to bottom. There's only like 20-30 difference in points, which is crazy. Usually you'll see a team that has been out of playoffs by December. So
Yeah, it's super tight this year, and it's really awesome to see that there's only a 5-point swing from second to seventh.
yeah, it's insane.
So how has your playing style evolved since you started playing?
Well, from juniors, it was kind of more like, I can have a, bit of skill to my game. But then kind of like to play junior A as well, I was more towards the role I have now of just being tougher. And, maybe in juniors I had one or two fights, but kind of few and far between. And how it's evolved now is just like, if you can be reliable, if you can be consistent and play well, that's kind of where I've switched gears. It's not, I have some goals in juniors going coast to coast, and you won't be seeing that anytime soon. As much as it'd be nice to, like first pass mentality, and then just being a mean mother is kind of how I've developed my game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows on the ice.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely taking pride in the penalty minutes I get. So that's always, it's always fun.
So, growing up, we have influences, people that can influence us and people that we look up to. So, who was your biggest influence growing up in hockey, and how did they help you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty easy with I'm half Canadian, so my dad's Canadian. And then so obviously growing up, my dad would be building us. We didn't have much of a yard to begin with, maybe like 25 feet by 40 feet long, like nothing crazy. But we'd have an outdoor rink every year. Being from Buffalo, we get the weather, so we're always just me and my two older brothers, we'd be skating out there all the time. So between my dad and my two older brothers, it was kind of like I just got to keep up.
So, what was the best piece of advice you ever received on or off the ice?
Probably off the ice, which would be my other brother Dakota. He doesn't play, he's an electrician, works his bag off, makes more than we ever do, but then he knows that. But he always just told me like, you can get a real job and get a whole career going at any point. Like that's what everyone does, but you can't play pro hockey forever. So if there's still a part of you that wants to keep playing and loves the game, which obviously I do, and I'm still young at only 23, like he's like keep playing till you're done for sure. So there's guys in this league that are in their 30s still playing. Obviously they have that kind of mentality, and I don't know if I'll play till I'm 30, but with this being my 30 already, if I could see another 3 or 4 more years for sure. And I feel like every year I keep getting better too. So that's kind of like one thing, because you always battle with, obviously we don't get paid well, but you can always get a real job, or even summer jobs make up for that. And then when hockey season rolls around, I'm always so ready to leave whatever blue collar job I'm doing to come play.
So, what is something that you're surprisingly bad at off the ice?
Bad at sports wise would be like, people always say hockey players are good golfers, and I've seen it. I've played with some sticks, like scratch golfers. I'll shoot in the hundreds. Like
Hey, we should go play golf.
it's just atrocious. Yeah, well, that was nice being in Huntsville before. I probably golfed 3 or 4 times with the boys. The weather was unreal down there. And then I come home to Buffalo, and for the first day or two, it was like 65 and sunny out. And I thought I avoided the winter. And then since I've been home, we've probably gotten 6 or 7 inches of snow still. So
Oof.
it's just been brutal. But yeah, I'm missing the warm weather and missing the golfing for sure.
So you said you golfed with the Havoc boys.
Yeah.
Who was the best golfer?
Oh man. Phil's pretty good. Phil and his brother, I golfed with his brother as well. Don't ask me to pronounce his last name, the Swede. They're really good. Oh, and then my roommate, Cole Gulks, who I played with my rookie year too. When he was on Quad City, I got called up to Quad my rookie year. So it was funny. I already knew him, and then when I moved in, I was like, I haven't seen this guy for 3 years, and I only saw him for probably a week, anyways, because that's how long I was with the team for my call up then. But Gulks is just disgusting. The shots he hits, he's unreal, and he knows
Yeah,
it too. Like,
we got to talk with him a little bit at the booster dinner last week, and that was one thing he said. He was sitting at our table, and I'm a big golfer, but I'm a lot like you. If I can break 95, I had a great day, and I'm absolutely
yeah,
hammered by the end of it for sure. So I asked Golka, "What's your handicap?" And he's like, "A 4." And I was like, "Yeah, we can't go play golf.
no, yeah,
No
or and
way."
he'll be like, at my best, I was a scratch golfer, but it's gotten a little worse since then. And I'm like, I went out and I was probably playing like this would have been my third round in like a week and a half, and he hasn't played in 2 months, and he goes out there and shoots like high 60s, maybe a low 70, and I'm like, dude, what are we doing?
That is hilarious. I could see that. He looks like the kind of guy that can
But
get out
but
there and just
he's
rip it.
yeah, he's so nonchalant about it too. It's unreal. He'll come back and be like, "Yeah, I played all right," to his girlfriend who's unreal, and she's like, "Oh yeah," and I'm just like, "No, he didn't play all right. He was nasty. Like it was. I played all right, if anything."
He's out here looking like Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, yeah, he joined the tour. It's ridiculous.
So, what's your go-to pump-up song and or pregame routine? And also, I want to ask, what do you think about the pregame music that they play when y'all come out on the ice at the Havoc?
I couldn't tell you one song they play during the warm-ups for a Havoc game. But funny you say that. The only rink I've ever noticed what tunes they play, it's either one, if the sound system's bad, because then you're just like you're on the ice and it just sounds like crap. So there's a couple rinks where like the sound system just isn't good, so you don't even know what they're playing. But it's like, man, this isn't pumping anyone up. But the one pump up song that I always noticed was in Birmingham, they play a Jello song. I might swerve and they're gonna woo. And I swear, like that song goes on for like 4 minutes, and it's
Yeah.
basically just what I sang over and over again. But the boys kind of get juiced to it too. So that's one song I've noticed on the sheet. But as far as like locker room, I don't even pay for music. Like I'm still using Pandora or like Spotify with ads. So I'm
Right.
not the aux guy. I'm not hopping on. So it's whatever the boys play. So like when I was in Roanoke before, we were like the boys were getting pretty into some heavy metal tunes, and I wasn't a huge component of that, but once you get listening to them, they kind of get you hyped, and I started to really like them. So a couple of them have even made it to my playlist now. But
That's
that's it
so
for the
funny and
music.
makes so much sense that the Roanoke boys are listening to heavy metal, by the way. The
Yeah. Oh,
way
you
the
see the
style of their
Pims.
play, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, oh yeah. Their PIM column is just through the roof, which is, it's how they play. It's how, you got to play there. So I definitely wasn't afraid of playing that way either. So But any pregame ritual, I mean, like I just take, like most guys, like you take a nap pregame after morning skate, or I wouldn't even eat the same thing before every meal. Like some guys eat the same thing before every game. I would mix it up, but like keep it simple with like Chipotle or making myself like chicken, eggs, and rice or something like that. But nothing too crazy, not superstitious, extremely. Just kind of pretty laid back, enjoy it.
Okay. And that's kind of funny because I know there are some guys that they eat the same thing every week, every game.
100%.
It's that superstition like we talked about.
Yeah, it's like comfort too. Yeah, like they know this will give them the best chance to play well and all that, and if it helps them, it helps them. But for me, it's like I'd like to be in the moment more and enjoy it, and then I just kind of thrive off that. Which when you're playing in Huntsville in front of all those fans, if you can kind of enjoy it and not be afraid of it, I think it just helps you play even better.
Yeah. So if you could play with any player, past or present, who would it be?
That's a great question. I mean, an easy answer, new gold medalist, Tage Thompson, Buffalo boy. Like I'd love to play with him. My one friend, he's met him a couple times before, like signed jersey and everything. He says he's a beauty. I've never met him, but that'd be an unreal guy to play with. I think my points might go up if I play with him.
I can see that.
Yeah, yeah, I think it would be beneficial.
So I do have a question with the pregame routine. So
Yep, yep.
what's your go-to fashion style walking into the arena?
Oh gosh. I definitely the funny thing is like growing up, I got two older brothers. My mom was never into fashion, like we hunt, we fish. So it's like dude, I was wearing clothes from Walmart until I was like 13, 14, going into high school. I'm looking like Adam Sandler almost. Like, and I don't even know it. Like I think this is just like normal apparel. Like I have no clue what I'm doing. So it took a while, took a couple girlfriends to get through to me on what to wear, and they bought me clothes. So now I kind of get it, but nothing too flashy. I thought I'd also like my only full suit I ever bought was my prom suit, and I thought I'd always fit into that. That was slim cut. I don't fit into that anymore. So I really like all my suits are like thrifted, kind of a random jacket here and nice button down, nice pants, dress shoes, but like nothing too flashy. Dom Procopio's got some crazy style too. He wears some wild stuff that he thrifts as well. So we're on the same page with that of like whatever works. We're not too deep into it. Anything from turtleneck to just a normal button down.
Meanwhile, you've got guys like Lens and Weaves coming in full suits.
No
Yeah.
socks, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah. They got the what socks?
No
No
socks.
socks.
Oh, no socks. Yeah, yeah. They're ready for the flood. They're ready for high water. That's that. Yeah. Oh, my mom hates that look too. My mom ripped me all the time, man. I got my like one pair of pants tailored, and I got them tailored too high, and I knew it. But I kind of tried to defend it of like, pants are getting higher and higher these days, of like showing some more ankle and stuff. And she's just, yeah, my mom's not about that at all. But yeah, the no socks is crazy to me. I'll always wear dress socks. I got some funny pairs of dress socks too, so I like to rock them when I can.
That's always the best is when you can show them off. And those, I feel like that style of tailored pants works well when you have those kind of dress socks. But the no socks that's out of pocket for me.
Yeah, yeah, it's the new wave. It's the new wave.
So what's something you want listeners and hockey fans to know about you and know about your style of hockey?
Yeah, I mean, just that, you look up my name, it's a quite long laundry list of teams, but for the most part, everywhere I played, like I met unreal guys, even from the past that I played juniors with that you never think you'll see again. And just one thing about that is, you know, yeah, it sucks going from team to team, but everywhere I've gone, I've had a great time, and I try to be myself. And I think everywhere I've gone, that kind of shows that I'm not going from team to team because because I'm a bad guy or I can't cut it. Sometimes that's just the situation. Coast guys come down, guys come off the IR that, got to play. And that's one thing about my career is just I've loved every second of it and will continue to. It's better than any desk job in the world.
I bet. So you talked about playing kind of all over the place and a lot of different teams. What was your favorite city to play in?
Yeah, I mean, looking back now, it's got to be Huntsville from the atmosphere of like, yeah, obviously you guys get the most crowd, the biggest fan group there, with averaging 6,500 almost every home game sold out. So just playing and showing up to that is easy. It's so fun to feel that atmosphere and just get juiced for it. On top of like the team discount cards we get, there's 7 or 8 restaurants we get 50% off at. There's 3 country clubs we get to golf at for free. Cryo chamber this, massages here, and then just going out to the bars after a good weekend and everyone kind of just wanted to meet you and say hi. It's a ton of fun there. There's a couple other spots. I had a short stint in Knoxville. That was a really cool place to play, close to the university there. So that was a ton of fun. Roanoke, good fan base there, really cool rink. Those type of atmospheres are all fun, but yeah, Huntsville takes the cake on that.
So, what would be the team that you think is the dark horse this year? Like you said, we're getting later in the season. Playoffs is right around the corner. What team's the dark horse?
The dark horse. I see now that I've been gone for 3 or 4 weeks now. I haven't been checking the standings like I have, but like you said, with the league being so close, it really could be anyone. Obviously, I think in my mind, you got Peoria and Huntsville are always favorites. Roanoke style of hockey, with how the tough they are, has to be pretty similar to playoff style at this point. So I'd say they're good, but sneaky, same thing like last year. Knoxville, they've been better this year, but last year they went on that, what was it, 11 or 13 game skid, and they go all the way to the finals. Like, it's hard not to pick them again as a dark horse because their coach, they keep a lot of the same guys in that locker room, same as Stu does in Huntsville, keeps the culture together, and a few pieces here and there. But I think for their record and where they're at to possibly winning some games in playoffs, I could see Knoxville being a sneaky good pick there.
I don't disagree with you on that one. I think the big one is them getting Mundinger back. Mundinger's been out on IR. I think if they
Yeah.
get him back right before playoffs, they can definitely make a good run. They've been playing some really good hockey.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything about his injury or anything. Do you think he'll be back? I mean, I guess I should probably know, or I could find out with all the guys I've played with. But well, since I've been back home, I've been tapped into, getting a job back here and working on my commercial rating for flying. So I kind of left the season in the past, at least for this year.
Yeah, and I can understand that. They didn't really give a lot of details on his injury. They just moved him to a 30-day. He's not on the season ending or anything, but
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, he'll probably be back. I mean, a goalie his size and, kind of his style of play, I'm sure his knees have taken a toll over the years. He could be resting him up for playoffs. So I wouldn't be shocked if he'll be back for sure.
so Huntsville has a big game this weekend.
Against Peoria or
No,
Rome?
it's against Birmingham. The
Oh, it's
Yellow
against
Hammer.
Birmingham.
The Yellow Hammer. We need the Yellow
Oh,
Hammer back.
and that's for the best of 7 series, correct?
Not yet. This is yes, I think no, that wasn't a best of 7 overall the season, was it? No.
No, this
No,
is just
this is
us
just a
playing them.
regular season battle for Bama, Yellowhammer, Birmingham
Yeah.
comes back to Huntsville.
And what's the record at right now?
Off the top of my head, I don't
Or is this
have
kind
that
of like
stat.
this is like a winner take all, I'm guessing, in your mind, right? So if
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because this is the last regular season game, so whoever wins it kind of wins it.
Yeah, and it's 1 point difference between fifth and sixth. We're in fifth, they're in sixth.
Yeah, that's another team that, just the beginning of the year, the record was pretty bad. And then they've kind of found it and picked up some pieces. I have some old teammates on that team as well. And And yeah, they're kind of moving in the right direction. And yeah, I mean, being 1 point behind Huntsville, obviously we had some struggles middle to end of the season there, but that definitely helped them catch up on points. But yeah, Burmy went from, for the first 20, 30 games, kind of almost down and out. You think they'd finish 7th, 8th, right at the bottom there. And yeah, they're right in the mix.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this race is that Roanoke's 3 points ahead of Huntsville, and they're in
Yeah.
second place. So, I mean, all the weekends still matter at this point, and I feel whoever can come out of this series on top will end up taking home ice.
Yeah, which made sense.
We'll have a chance to like challenge Pensacola where like Matt got transferred to.
Yeah.
That way we can get that home ice from them because we're neck and neck for that home ice. Like 4th, 5th, and 6th are neck and neck.
Yeah. R.I.P. Allen. Great guy. I'm sure. I know he's liking Pensy. I know he's on the beaches. He's enjoying it. But yeah, Matty Ice was a great guy.
Yeah, it was weird seeing Novotny go to Roanoke, and then he really fits in with their style of play. And I've noticed that the Havoc, when Ashton Paul, for instance, would come in, they wouldn't really hit him hard into the boards, but when it came to Novotny, they gave him the business over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for Huntsville playing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Novo. I mean, everyone loved Novo, but yeah, he's a rookie. He's got to take his lumps, that's for sure. So if he wants to hold on to the puck too long, which sometimes forwards love to do, you're definitely bound to eat one every once in a while.
Well, sir, thank you so much for joining on. It's been a pleasure having you, and hopefully we'll get to see you back on the ice sometime soon. We wish you all the best of luck and all your success and in all your personal endeavors. And man, we can't wait to see you back on the ice. It sucks not having you here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hopefully, I left in good graces down there. So obviously Huntsville, I'd love to be back, but you got to see where the cards fall. And yeah, thank you for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And good luck
you,
with
sir.
the podcast. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All righty. See you guys.
All righty.
All right. So now let's talk about the Havoc overall, right? It was a great weekend to be a Havoc fan. We got to host Birmingham 2 games, Friday for Trash Panda night, Saturday for Military Appreciation night. And Friday was a really, really great game. Both teams came out determined to win this game. It was not so much of a winner take all, but both of these teams really needed to win when it came to playoff standings, getting a spot or home ice, because both of them, at this point, it's still very much either one of them could get home ice. At stake was the Yellow Hammer. Birmingham brought it up since they kept it in Birmingham after the last time we went down there on a Monday and played. And this was a series that you could tell from the puck drop meant a lot to both teams.
Oh, yes, definitely meant a lot. I mean, when the puck dropped, the players were hitting each other into the boards. They were just all out for this Yellow Hammer.
So, like you said, this game started off hot, heavy, and fast. And the Havoc started out really strong. Frank Gisera ended up dropping gloves with Kenny Britton 2 minutes and 11 seconds into this game. And this was a good tilt that I really think Frank got the better of. And the Havoc scored 3 goals in 3 minutes in the first period. And I have to say, wow, that you win the fight, 3 goals. Hayden Stewart comes off the ice. I mean, I don't think you could ask for a better way to start this game.
I think that's the fastest 3 goals the Havoc had scored all season. After watching the whole season, being the season ticket holder, I think that right there tops it.
Then the next crazy part was Hayden Stewart comes off the ice, Taylor Joseph goes in, and then they score another goal, making it 4 goals in the first period. We almost got a car wash in the first 20 minutes.
No, man. I was so hoping. I was yelling for the car wash, but it didn't happen.
I agree. Unfortunately, in the second period, we had a little bit of a scary moment. Kevin Weaver-Vitale went down after getting hit in what looked like the face with a puck. And the whole arena fell silent as he laid there, and it felt like he was down there forever. He was able to get up under his own power and get to the back in the locker room and escorted off to get for medical evaluations. And we would both like to extend a get well soon and hope everything's all right, bud, and we'll see you back on the ice sometime soon, I'm sure. The second period, seemed that the refs were really starting to finally call some penalties. Both teams were playing really hard. They kind of let this one play out for a little while, but I felt like they knew they had to start calling some stuff or this was going to get a little bit out there. And I always love it when Dom gets animated about these calls, whether it's for or against. Some of these, he was very in his own right to be animated about these calls. There were a lot of them that I think, they let play in the first period and they kind of had to rein it in the second period, I think. And that kind of played into that. And I think both sides could say that at points it seemed unfair how the penalties fell.
Yeah, Dom has no problems getting in the ref space, being the captain and saying, what are you doing out here? Why'd you call this? What's going on with this? Because, Dom needs to be the guy to get the explanation for the team.
Yeah.
Because if a non-captain goes to that ref and starts talking to him, he can get a penalty for it.
Right.
That's why we have that captain.
So the defense on Friday was absolutely stellar. The boys, they played great. 5 of 6 on penalty kills. And the Bulls really struggled to get through the defense and to get quality shots on goal. The Havoc were 0 for 3 on power plays, but the offense was really relentless. They constantly pushed on the other end of the ice, lots of passing. The shots that they made might have been off, but they weren't off by much. Yeah. And I think being up 4 goals in the first period, you're looking for a knockout punch for sure, but you're also not trying to run it up a ton. You want to save some in the tank, I would imagine.
Yeah, you do.
You've got 2 other games this weekend. Yeah. You can't burn yourself out.
Yeah, they didn't want to do an 8-0 shutout again because they knew that would just be too much for them.
And the longer that this game went on, the chippier that it got. There were a lot of hard hits in the boards on this game. I mean, and I think that really does a lot for the home crowd. They feed into that so much. You can hear the whole crowd go, ooh, every time there was a good hit. And it really pumps the crowd up. And I think that helps the boys on the ice. They have to be able to hear that.
Oh, yeah. I know they hear that.
So they get to hear that, and then the crowd gets into it. The Let's Go Havoc chants start. The cowbells are ringing. The horns are blowing. And it really starts building into this sound bomb, so to say, inside the props.
Oh yeah, and with Dre and Freak Daddy getting us pumped up.
Yeah. At the end of the game, things got a little sketchy.
Yeah.
It seemed that there was a scrum down by the penalty box. Fries had a lot to say, obviously. He gets kind of pulled away from that. Luckily, no fights erupted. Everybody skated to their locker rooms, and the Havoc get the 5-2 win. With that 5-2 win, they secure their spot in the playoffs. We get a clinch. So we're in. We know we have a game. We're going to get some at home. How many? It just depends. We're still a little bit of hockey left here.
Yeah, and they're calling that playoff Forged in the Dark. So what's your opinion on that?
I actually like that. I think that they went on a little bit of a skid there, and it got kind of scary. I didn't know how they would come out of it, when they would come out of it, and they did it multiple times in the season. The first time they went through the skid, it was, okay, there's a lot of time left. Yeah. And then the last time they went in the skid, it was a little bit of well, what's going to happen? And that happened around a lot when the roster changes started, and they started to get some guys back from the ECHL. You get Yannick to come back, and you start kind of building this new little core crew to make a push. And then it seemed like they finally started to gel.
They did. But you know who I ultimately think really has helped the team gel? It's not the veteran guys. It's our 3 new guys that we've gotten. Those 3, Dawson Chirino, Cam Cook, and Alex Proctor.
Yeah.
Those 3 have really just been the backbone for our veteran guys. They've picked up the slack. Because the saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
I don't know if they have a weakest link.
Just as a thing, I was listening to the broadcast on Sunday, and he was saying that the Havoc's 4th line would start on any of these teams, and that's just impressive to hear that being said about the Huntsville Havoc. I think as we stand now, we could give Peoria a run for their money.
We already have. We've gone to Peoria and played them hard, so I don't disagree with that. I think the moves that they've made put them in a position to take the cup. I really do. I don't know if there's a team that can beat Huntsville in 5.
No.
I don't at all. So Keshner had 2 goals on the night. He got the 3rd star of the game. I really thought he was going to get a hat trick. He had a lot of really good shots in this game. Austin Algar had 2 goals on the night, and he got the 2nd star of the game. And the one, like we said, new addition, Cam Cook gets 1 goal for the night. He gets his 1st star, his 1st goal as a Havoc, and he gets to bring the yellow hammer to the locker room. And I would imagine as a younger guy, he's not even really a younger guy, honestly. He's played a lot in the ECHL. I think he's just newer to the team in that sense. And knowing what these games mean, playing in a one-up league, coming back and playing for a team as dominant as Huntsville has been in the last few years, it's got to be really exciting, and especially something that means so much to the team as the Yellowhammer.
Yeah, the Yellowhammer really just brings it home for them.
Yeah.
Because, it started back on that Battle for Bama game that introduced the Yellowhammer. It's like when you watch different sports and they have trophies for winning. That just makes the rivalry so much stronger, and it means so much more to just the state of Alabama.
So Wilson had a great game. He had some really, really good saves in this game. And to be honest, the Bulls didn't get a lot of quality shots on Wilson. A lot of them were kind of just some throws. They didn't get a lot of open shots. The guys were constantly in the way, bodies on pucks, laying on the ice. I mean, they really laid it all out there for this game Friday night, and he ended up stopping 22 of 24 shots on the night. But I feel like Alex Proctor is a guy that continues to find a way to be productive, whether he's on or off the ice, opening the door, beating on the boards, locked in, talking to the guys, listening to what the coaches have to say, observing what's going on, and taking mental notes of how he could get better. And I feel like that's the embodiment of a team player. And it's a great thing to see from someone so young and so new to the team. He's just fit right on in with the guys.
Yeah, I think he's still in that college mindset of learning.
Yeah.
And so learning is where he feels like he can grow the most. Listening, that's very hard for young players to do. They just want to, like, I've got this. I'm in the pros. I can do this. But no, he's actually taking the time to listen to each and everybody on the team. And yes, he has goals for himself, but he's putting the team above his goals.
Dawson Shrino is also a guy who continues to impress. It seems that every game you see his name somewhere on the scoring sheet, whether it's an assist, a goal, or he's playing great defense, playing against the boards, getting a penalty when it's called for. He scores goals and contends pucks on the board, and I think that's something that's a really great addition, especially for a rookie like he is. And I feel like we've got a really good group of rookies with Lindsay, Sherino, Schultheis. I mean, these guys are all rookies, but they play like veterans.
Yeah, I think all of them really have been throwing people into the boards a lot more lately.
So the other one you talked about, Cam Cook, another guy, newer addition, and seemingly has fit in effortlessly.
Oh, yes.
He seems like he can play on any line with anybody, and the guy is fast. He can skate. I didn't realize how fast he was until this game Friday night when he got a breakaway. And when he's on the ice, his passing ability is effortless. He has that feel. He knows where guys are to get them to pass. He plays good defense. I really like his shot more than anything. He's got a shot like Ben's one-timer and a slap shot. I mean, this kid can hum it down there for sure. So on Saturday night, we had a great presentation by the Havoc organization put on together for us. We had some guys rappel down from the Alabama Cave Rescue, and the colors coordinated lights inside of the seats with the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was really cool. Getting to see that 360 photo from Underboss.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool.
That was top notch. I was very impressed that they were able to do that.
So I remember when we talked about these jerseys, I told you I didn't know if I was a fan. So after getting to see these jerseys up close, I actually really did like them. I have to say that they were really nice jerseys.
I told you they
right.
were awesome. They were awesome jerseys.
They definitely changed my mind. And I would like to say thank you to all the veterans and current military personnel for all your sacrifices and services for the country. But let's dive into it. Fries comes back, and he had something to say.
Oh, definitely.
And him and Glover had to have some kind of conversation Friday night because 36 seconds in, gloves drop.
Gloves drop.
And this wasn't really a fight, so to say. I call this one more of a tussle. It was kind of a wrestling match. They both went in the box for 2 minutes. Nothing kind of out of the ordinary. But then the next puck drop, Ethan Lindsay drops gloves. And I was like, oh, they are not happy about whatever happened in that little scrum yesterday. Ethan, the kisses Lindsay, drops the gloves, and he goes toe-to-toe with Kenny Britton. And this was a really good tilt. They really gave each other some great punches and landed a few. But I think Lindsay got the best of him out there.
Yeah.
I think that Britton was kind of falling down and kind of threw him down there, but the crowd goes wild. And, of course, every time Ethan wins a fight, we get the – and everybody loves it. That's his signature move, and I know I go absolutely crazy when he gets into a fight because I know what's coming.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy, though, is that when they get into a fight and they go into the box, they'll show them on the video board going, "Let's go Havoc." And they record videos of them.
Yeah.
And they get the crowd riled up.
Right.
Huntsville just loves fights.
They do. They really do. And, I mean, we have a lot of really good fighters, to be honest. There's only a few that I think probably shouldn't as much as they do, but I understand it. You've got to stick up for your teammates. You got to stick up for yourself. Sometimes you just have to drop the gloves, and either you win one or you lose one. But either way, you're going to get back on the ice.
Oh, yes.
So we still have no score at this point. A few minutes later, Connor Fries, Drake Glover get out of the box. And as soon as they stepped out of the box, gloves off.
Yep, they were not done.
And they got after it. And this one wasn't as entertaining of a fight as Lindsay's, only because Glover, I felt, got the best of Fries. Yeah. He kind of gave him the business down there. But hats off to Fries. He didn't back down. He stayed in it. He continued to throw some punches. But I don't know if you've seen, but he's got a shiner.
Yeah.
It was a bad one. So he definitely took a couple good ones there.
But he took it like a champ.
He did. He definitely did. Both teams stayed relentless playing this game in the boards, playing the both teams stayed relentless playing the boards and really making their opponents feel that they were there. Not so much of, anything else. They didn't really wear them out, but this was a game where they let you know who you were playing.
Center ice was very hard to come by because they were keeping it tight.
Yep. The Havoc would throw some haymakers on offense, though, and they scored 2 goals in the first period and took an early lead while they continued to apply a lot of pressure on the defensive front. I can't tip my hat enough to the defensive guys and how much they really helped Wilson out there and stealing pucks, blocking passes, blocking shots, playing the boards. I can't commend them enough for that effort.
Yeah, but Wilson, he's got that act about him where he can just has that catcher mentality, just catches it out thin air. Yeah. I'm like, how does he just do that?
His hand-eye coordination is absolutely nasty.
Him and Proctor both have it.
So Brian Wilson, at this point, we're going into the third period. It's 2-0. It looks like Wilson's on his way to a shutout. We get a little over halfway into the third period, and Drake Glover drives one. Drives it home. Unfortunately, this was a little bit of a breakdown. They kind of got through the defense a little bit there, 2-on-1, and they squeaked one by Wilson. It was a good shot by Drake Glover.
It really
I will say that. A little bit later, we get a little later into the third period, and the Bulls tried to pull some strategy. We get the goalie off the ice. We get 6 men on, and this is where the statement of Huntsville's defense. They didn't get a goal, and they were down there a good bit. They also played good keep away from the Havoc to not really give up that empty net goal. But, man, the defense was relentless. They tightened up. They kept Willie protected. They kept playing the boards. I mean, they really did play great. And it kind of – I feel like it kind of plays into Huntsville's strength when things like this happen because they really are a great penalty kill team.
Oh, yeah.
So for them, it's just another penalty kill.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of penalty kills, they went 1 for 1 on the night and 0 for 3 on power plays. I know power plays they're really hard. the defense is really tightened up around those goalies. It's hard to get them to spread out. It's hard to get shots. So I can understand why the percentages are the way they are the more that I've watched hockey.
Yeah.
This was also the last regular season home game, and the attendance has been kept up all season through the SPHL. And the Huntsville Havoc broke the single game attendance record of the year with 176,945 fans.
Of the rowdiest hockey fans in the South.
It seemed as though the crowd was in for this game, but also the offense was excited and in for this game. The Havoc shot the puck 53 times in this matchup, and I would have to think that really wears a goalie down. Can you imagine defending 90 shots in 2 games? Because they had just over 90, I think it was 91 or 92 shots between Friday and Saturday night.
That's crazy.
And I know that Hayden Stewart went off on Friday night early, but even then, they still had put a good amount of shots on him.
Yeah, but overall on Friday versus Saturday, he didn't play his best. But Saturday, I think he was playing better.
Yes.
I think he was much improved from the night before.
I think, and I think that says to everybody has a bad day.
Yes.
You don't always have your best stuff, and that's all right. That really is. I mean, that's part of being a human. Nobody's perfect. So I really enjoyed watching Saturday's game. I mean, of course, Friday night getting the big win and kind of strong-arming your little brother. And then in this game, they kind of put him in a headlock on this one.
Yeah, getting the yellow hammer, clinching the playoffs, and also setting the single season attendance record.
Yeah.
That right there in one match is huge.
It's a big weekend. In the regular season – in the final regular season game, Ethan Lindsay got the 3rd star of the game, and it has to be because of that fight. Like, he plays great defense, but I think that fight really set the tone.
Yes.
It set the tone of, hey, we're coming at you, and it's going to be a brawl from now until the end.
We want to keep the yellow hammer from the night before.
The 2nd star of the game, Dawson Sherino. Who would have thought anything else? This kid is, like I said, he's everywhere all the time. He's in almost all the plays.
Yes.
He's a monster on the ice, and I really enjoy watching him play. And then finally, we get to the 1st star of the game, Brian Wilson, 33 out of 34 saves. And for me, I thought it was amazing to see him come out, American flag on his back, skate around the ice, grab the yellow hammer, skate around the ice again before he went in, and he made picture-perfect moments for everybody around the stadium.
He did. And I think it's only fair for the 1st star of the game to really get that yellow hammer and get to do that. But I think him putting the American flag on was just showing the superhero-esque strength that flag represents because of our military.
The Havoc did an auction after the game to support the still serving veterans, and they raised $75,500 in auctions.
That is great.
It really is. I mean, and I love that the Havoc do so many give backs. And I know that one of the things about the hockey community is it's for the community, by the community. We help them, they help someone else, and it's a continuing passing it forward.
Yeah, I mean, even the players coaching, taking their time out of their summers just to go coach these kids that they want to see move up and into the next levels.
So on Sunday, the Havoc traveled to Macon to take on the Mayhem in another important game. At this point, we've clinched, but we're 1 point back from home ice. So huge game. And this was also a huge game for Macon because they're not out of it yet.
No.
They still have a shot to sneak in the backside of this playoff bracket, and they're not a bad team. They can really make a decent run here. And this was a game that I felt where the veterans really showed up. All your difference makers, the guys that you rely on, really showed up for this game. Frank Trezera, it was his 100th career game as a professional, and we got to see Proctor in the goal for the 2nd time this season. And I was super excited for that. I was at the Macon game. I was directly behind the bench. And I've seen him on television when he played at Evansville because I didn't go to that. But I wanted to see him live and in the flesh, and I got the chance.
But though, they started him 2 times on the road.
Yeah.
2-0 on the road.
Yeah. So this was, again, another chippy game. And when you think back to when the Havoc last played Mayhem came to Huntsville, and the end of that game was almost a brawl. That was the game that Brian Wilson got ran through, visibly upset on the ice. Nobody forgot about that. I'll almost guarantee that no Havoc player forgot what happened that night.
No.
So the puck drops. They're playing hard. And you kind of could feel by the way everybody played that this was going to be an all-out brawl. This was going to be a defense game. We were going to play the boards. We were going to try to score goals. And they were really going to try to attack Proctor. Proctor's young. He's new. Try to rattle him. I was shocked that Macon didn't really have a whole lot of fans, and maybe I'm spoiled as a Havoc fan. I think they only put in a little over 2,000 fans, which isn't a bad turnout for a Sunday. So we get into the game. Puck drops. We get 3 minutes in. Charlie Risch drops gloves. And this isn't a guy who he doesn't really drop gloves often. He's kind of a guy that has to be pushed out of character in order to drop gloves, so I don't know if there was some chirping or if there was just a hard play in the board he didn't like. He went up against Ibarra, and Ibarra kind of egged this one on. Before the gloves even dropped, he was giving him some jabs. And Risch tried to turn away, and then that flip of a switch was just like, no, I'm dropping. And they dropped, and at first it looked like Risch was going to get the better of him, but Ibarra really landed about 3 or 4 really good punches that ended up getting the better of Risch. And I think that, unfortunately, Ibarra took the W on this one. And then about 4 minutes later, Dawson Chirino drops gloves with McClockus, and McClockus had him in a headlock before he landed some uppercuts. At first, this didn't look like it was really going to be a fight. It was just kind of a wrestling, and then he kind of got the upper hand in position, gave him a couple uppercuts. At this point, Mayhem are up 2-0 on fights. The good thing about that is fights don't win games. They don't show up on the scoreboard.
This is not fight night.
And from being at the game, like I said, it wasn't really packed. Being right behind the bench, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool to watch and get kind of really close to the players. The only problem that I had was dodging Coach Stu and Coach Tyler. I mean, it seemed like they were right in front of me. Felt like a boxer the whole time trying to watch the game. The environment was a little bit mixed. I don't know what I really expected going to Macon. We had a family that sat behind us, and these guys and his wife were absolutely hilarious. We had a great time, chirped back and forth, had a lot of great laughs, and we had a great time with them. And, there's always a couple bad apples that spoil the bunch, and we unfortunately ran into one of those guys, and we didn't let it dampen our spirits. I think that the other kind of funny thing is, in Huntsville, we all have the horns and the bells. And so I was sitting there in the front and I'm blowing my horn, and security comes up and kind of taps me on the shoulder, and I'm confused because I haven't done anything. I'm minding my own business watching the game. And they asked me where my air horn is. And I go, well, I don't have an air horn. And they're like, well, what's that? I was like, well, that's just my regular horn. And he goes, it's not air powered? And I was like, no. He goes, well, people are reporting that you have an air horn. I was like, I don't have an air horn. Took the mouthpiece off, blew into it, showed him, put it back together, and showed him. So I thought that was really funny. And whatever Macon Mayhem fan said that I had an air horn, thank you. I appreciate the compliment because apparently I have some great lungs.
And also, they just don't know how we do it at the BBC.
No, and even we didn't have a very large crowd that traveled for this game, but we would bring the cowbells, we bring the horns, we brought the voices. I wouldn't say it felt like a home game, but we were heard.
But you can tell the rowdiest fans in the South were there.
Yeah, you definitely can. The Havoc scored a goal in every period of this game. It started off with Dylan Robbins picking up his first assist as a Havoc, so that was really cool. And as we got later into this game, it kind of got a little bit cleaner for a little while. And then right at the end, I don't know what happened at the Macon Mayhem side goal, but somebody set Josh Kessner off.
It takes a lot to set him off.
So it looked like he got hit in the foot with a stick. And I don't know if it's something that had been happening constantly or what, but he lost it.
Oh, yeah.
And he turned to Cohen, and he I think he only got him with one.
Oh.
And Cohen immediately fell out. And somebody else tried to come over, and Kessner went at him too. So he gets hit in the foot with a stick, and he lost it. So while he's trying to get to Cohen, he hits Kropinski in the face with as he's trying to flesh his stick and gloves. He hits him in the face, and then you see the goalie kind of come out of the goal, and he pushed Frankie. And I thought this was the most funny thing, because that's not really a guy you want to get in a tussle with either. So Frankie pushes him back, and he looks down at the other end of the ice at Proctor, and almost like he wanted Proctor to come play. Proctor was locked in. Like he couldn't care what was going on down there. It wasn't coming this way. He just kind of hung out. And I thought that was really funny. Kessner did end up leaving that game. There was only seconds left, so he didn't really miss anything. It was good to see Cass Daddy throw the gloves. I don't think I've seen him get that mad all season,
No.
and to get that animated. So something must have happened in order to set him
I found funny was when the commentator, he was like, "Oh yeah, the two goalers down here just doing pucks back and forth."
Yeah. While they were trying to sort everything out and deal with the penalties and deal with Cohen, who was laid out on the ice, you just see the puck coming across. I was like, "What are they doing?" And they're just shooting back and forth, passing. That was really funny. The Havoc ended this game stat-wise, 1-for-1 on a power play with that goal coming from Lincoln Earn, and they were 6-for-6 on a penalty kill, including a 4-minute penalty kill, which when that happened, I was a little nervous. That's a lot of time to be down a guy, a newer goalie, but, I mean, the defense stood tall. Proctor stood tall. And the offense, they put 38 shots on goal, and they had an empty net goal because Macon pulled their goalie, but what I was shocked, I knew it was coming, but they did it like 4 minutes left in the game. And I didn't understand why so early. That felt really early to pull the goalie. Gio Procopio got back onto the goal inside and finally got him a goal. It's been a while since we've got to see Gio's name up there. Yeah. And he got an assist from Alger, who he's been a regular on the season as of late. Really all season he's one of Huntsville's top scorers. He's either scoring goals or making assists. He's always in the play. And it was very weightlifting to see Dominic Procopio get back on the score sheet. I feel like it's been a while since we got to see him. So congrats Dom on kind of shaking it off, getting an assist, getting in there. And I know that's not really a defenseman's game, but it always feels good when you can help score the puck.
Yes, especially as being the captain.
Yes. So the win, along with the loss from Evansville, catapults the Havoc from 5th place into 2nd place, and now they control their own destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Quad City coming up, and we'll get into that a little bit. But you win, everything comes home, and you get the majority of it at home. Their home record is amazing. Their away record is around 50-50, but I feel like as of late, it's kind of gotten better. And just hats off to Proctor. Man.
Yes.
He had some amazing stops. He was really locked in. And there were a lot of times where he had to work. It was not easy on him. And the thing that I liked about him was I got to watch him come up to the bench. He kind of would glance up at the crowd and see the Havoc people. And I think he kind of took a little bit of comfort in that and seeing that people came out to support him and they were there and they had his back. But then after he gets the shutout, everybody comes onto the ice. And Brian Wilson, who at times seemed a little nervous, a little anxious, maybe he was just locked in, or maybe he saw some teaching moments. But when the scoreboard went all zeros, Brian Wilson comes out. And he has the biggest smile on his face. And he gives him a big hug. And you could just see and feel how proud of Proctor he was in that moment. How happy he was for him to get that shutout in the second game.
Yeah, just being at home and watching Alex Proctor when the game hit zeros. he stood in the blue at the goal and took bows at several of the players as just he's very humbled to be on this team. Because, you think about historical times, how they build their pyramids and stuff, how you have to step off the stairs and you bow as a sign of respect. That was what he was doing. He was showing respect to all those other players on the team that have poured into him. And it's just a way of saying thank you to the coach for allowing me to come on the team. And for him to get 2 wins as a goalie on the road, bear in mind, he hasn't played at home on the road for a rookie coming out of college. That is big.
Yeah, and I missed that because I was going absolutely crazy in the stands, to be honest with you. So that's really cool because I didn't know that he did that. I think the one thing that kind of hurt my heart a little bit was Cole Goko. Man, he is trying so hard, and it seems like the harder he tries, just the more frustrated he gets. Maybe I think he's a guy who expects a lot from himself, and he's been very productive on the ice through his defense and his board play. But you could tell, he shoots a shot and it just doesn't. It's not exactly how he thought it was going to go, or it bounces off of something, and you could just see the frustration. And I don't want to say deflation because I don't see that in him at all. But I think as of late, he's had some issues personally with himself with not getting goals.
Yeah, I think that does feed into a player's mental place where they're at. But I think the team will rally around him. They'll build him up and say, hey, this is a team sport for a reason.
Yeah.
It's okay you're not scoring right now. We're backing you up. It's okay if you get an assist or if you miss a shot because we can go get it.
So here's my bold prediction on that one. I think he gets one this weekend in Quad City.
Yeah.
I think he finally puts all the pieces together, or whatever he's got going on. I think he sees what happened in the game and he makes his changes. And I think he comes out against Quad City and he gets back on the scoring sheet.
Yeah, but you got to think about Quad City, though. If that's going to be a very chippy game, because if Quad City loses to us, they could be out.
Yes.
Like completely OUT.
So, like we said, next weekend, last regular season series of the year, and we go to Quad City. Now, the Havoc are 6-1 against Quad City. So, yes, it looks like we've dominated the series in that, but when you look into the scores and the stats of these games, mostly these have all been 1 or 2 goal games. They've been very tight. The Havoc have gotten to be one of those hot teams as of late. They're 7-3 in their last 10. So they've, compared when they were on the other side of that spectrum about a month ago, they've really turned things around. I think that going into this, the Havoc are going to continue in their form. They're going to win out. I think they sweep Quad City. And I say that because the Havoc have the advantage in every statistical category.
Yes, they do. And, also one thing that really helps the Havoc is, like when I talked to Dom at the end of the year Booster Club party, he said the Quad City just feels like a second hockey home to him. And I feel like a lot of players vibe with that because of the way the downtown is designed, similarly to Huntsville's downtown, where you can walk from your hotel and go to the different places to eat. So it just feels almost like a home game to them.
Yeah. And I'm sure that helps out a lot, too, because you can kind of be on your own time and do your own thing, prepare your own way, but still make it to skate and pregame on time. But you don't have to necessarily hop in the bus with all the guys and go to one place. And I'm sure a lot of them end up going out together anyway. But I think that I think they sweep. I think they maintain second, and we'll have playoffs in the VBC, a lot of it.
Yes, if we sweep, that'll be awesome. That'll be the first time in 2 years that we've had a home game for the playoffs in the BBC. The BBC was like, we've got to have home playoffs this year. They just like, we need it because last year I think the players felt deflated playing in Nice Clicks. They just don't like it.
No, and I'm sure it's really hard when you go from 6,000 to right around 1,000. That's a lot. I know when you go play or go to a barn like Birmingham's barn, there's not a lot of people. It's really tight. It doesn't have the same feel as the VBC. This year, everything's kind of gone. Everybody talks about Disney on Ice and Monster Jam. Those are the two things that take away from Havocs in the playoffs. I think the VBC did a good job of trying to get Disney on Ice in sooner. They're gone. They're done. They've already come. Now you only have Monster Jam. So realistically, you may only have one weekend of a series that you have to play at the Iceplex. And that will be a good bit further down the line in playoffs this year. So Trash Pandas are starting up. They'll have a weekend series against the Biloxi Shuckers this weekend, and they've announced that they're going to have fireworks every Friday and every Saturday, which is kind of unusual. All the baseball games that I always went to, it was always Firework Fridays.
Yeah.
So them adding Saturdays, I think, is really cool, and they're going to do that through the whole season. And they've got a lot of promotional nights on their calendar. First pitch for Friday night and Saturday night is 6:35. Friday night, since it's opening night, they're going to do a magnet schedule giveaway. And on Saturday, they're going to do the In My Trash Panda Era. It's a little nod to Taylor Swift there. Sunday, we wrap up the weekend series against the Biloxi Shuckers with a 105 first pitch for Easter Sunday. I'm not sure what the weekend rotation is going to be as far as for pitchers. They do have their roster up on the MILB site. I don't think I've seen anything as of now of what that rotation is going to look like, who they're projecting to start Friday. I know that the guys came in Sunday while I was in Macon, so I couldn't make it to that. So I'm excited. Baseball season starting. I'll be there all weekend. I'm really excited for the Trash Pandas. I know that they've been a team that haven't really been high end on the bracket, in their standings, but I think that the new coach coming in, we get a new manager. I think that'll be really nice. They've shuffled some people around. They've shuffled coaches around. So I'm interested to see how those changes affect them and how the ball club does this year.
Yeah, I think the Angels have really, over the offseason, poured a lot into this organization because they see the community and the outpour the community is bringing to that game.
Yeah.
And how much the high school teams are playing there, and they just love the atmosphere in there. And, I think also the Trash Pandas are trying to rival the Havoc in a way with doing all the promotions and doing all the giveaways because they see how well that works for the Havoc. So they want to try that to get more people to come to games.
Well, to be honest, all the baseball clubs that I've been around, they all do a lot of the giveaways like that. And it is to get people in there and promotional stuff. I think that the few Trash Panda games that I've been to, they've had a pretty decent crowd. They seem to pack in a lot. Baseball's a pretty largely followed game, especially in the military and some of the defense contractors. They have a lot of booths and they have a lot of sections, really. So I think attendance is something that every club and organization wants to see go up. But compared to other places that I've been, like Biloxi, I've been to a game in Corpus Christi for their team, and it wasn't the same as it is for the Trash Pandas for sure. Well, Frazier, do we have anything else to add for this?
All I have to say about baseball, play ball.
Well, until next week, stay in orbit and happy Easter.